What had the expelled student at your school done? On Tuesdays, my friends and I would skip history class by going to the restroom and then not coming back for a long time. One day, as I was heading to the restroom again, I saw a boy running out from inside. I didn't think much of it. I assumed he must have been in a hurry to get somewhere. But when I entered the restroom, I was met with an unbelievably foul smell that made my throat burn. As I approached the urinal to relieve myself, I noticed someone had defecated in it. The next day, I saw the principal and the school janitor in front of the restroom. They had found out who had done it by checking the security cameras. After interrogating the boy, he confessed. They expelled him before they could even ask why he did such a thing. I never saw that boy again outside of school. During my first year of high school, I was staying at a boarding school. One day, our school librarian called me over and asked if I could walk his dog, since he had injured his leg. I agreed to help. The dog was huge and it was difficult to control it on campus, so I decided to walk it in the campus forest to prevent it from attacking anyone. While wandering in the forest, the dog suddenly stopped, sniffed the air, and then broke free from my hand and started running. I took off after it immediately. Shortly after I began to run, I heard a scream and thought the dog might have bitten someone. When I reached the dog, I found the librarian half naked with another man, both scrambling to get dressed. Soon, teachers and students who had seen me lose control of the dog also arrived. After this incident, that teacher was expelled from the school. There was a troubled kid in our class who one day came to school with wine bottles in his backpack. During class, he took out a knuckle duster and smashed the bottles, causing wine to spill all over the classroom. Since he had no excuse or defense, he said nothing and waited for the administrative process to run its course. After being expelled, he left the school. I live in a rural Irish town, and our school was built next to a massive wheat field. One morning, a kid from our class arrived with gasoline and matches. After lunch, he waited for everyone to leave the classroom and for the school to quiet down. Then he jumped over the fence between the field and the school and set the wheat field on fire. Although the firefighters arrived quickly, the entire field was engulfed in flames. The school was immediately evacuated, and because the fire had spread to the school, we had to close for a week for repairs. After the incident, the boy fled the area, but before long, the police found him at his home. Although he claimed he did it due to psychological issues, a medical examination found no such problems, and he was arrested. The quiet kid in the class had stolen the school's official letterhead paper and created his own report cards at the end of the year for several years without ever being caught. In his final year of high school, he wanted to turn this into a business and stole a large amount of letterhead paper from the school. The administration became suspicious after noticing so much paper missing and reviewed the security cameras. Of course, they immediately identified the culprit. When they came to our class, the quiet kid was absent that day. A friend called him right away and told him not to come to school. Since he had already collected money from everyone, he didn't mind and never returned to school again. Once, there was a very strange boy in my class who came to school with a huge amount of hairspray in his hair. He had so much that his hair was completely plastered to his head. We were all in class, and sitting behind this strange boy was the class's most mischievous troublemaker. While the teacher was lecturing, the troublemaker suddenly set the strange boy's hair on fire. The hairspray didn't turn into big flames, but I'll never forget how he ran screaming out of the classroom door with smoke rising from his head. After this incident, neither of those two boys ever returned to school.